Hi guys. Hey, I am so sorry that I'm 5 minutes late. I got on the phone earlier, and if you've ever talked to me before and we've gotten to know each other, I'm like this. Blah, 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 blah. Probably because I'm home by myself all day. By myself all day. And before I keep saying hi to people, if you don't have an Embrilliance software, and when we say Embrilliance, there's so many different little subsets of Embrilliance. There's Essentials, there's Enthusiast, there's Stitch Artist 1, Stitch Artist 2, Stitch Artist 3, and there's a few others. I don't even know what they do. So you can download a demo account where you have access to everything. I'm not affiliated with Embrilliance, but if you want to see, do I think I would like this software? Download that demo account. I still have my demo account, and that's where I can go in and see, like I was the other day, I was looking at knockdown stitches. I have a workaround that I do for knockdown stitches, 2 workarounds, but I wanted to see what density do they use. So I went into my demo account and I did a knockdown stitch, and that kind of clued me in. Okay, so anyway, if you ever want to see Embrilliance, or if you want to follow along tonight, you can download that demo account and you can see if you think you would like it. I tend to like Embrilliance. I do feel like it has a lot of things that are somewhat antiquated. They still work perfectly fine. They just don't look as modern as probably the new John Deere software or some other softwares, but it works, and I really like it. So if you think you want to follow along, jump online, download an Embrilliance demo account, and you can work along with me. Okay. Betty says, I have Embrilliance Essentials, Stitch Artist 1 and Stitch Artist 2. That's exactly what I have. Now I have the thumbnailer thing, which I don't consider, it's not like design software. It's just a tool that you can use. But what you have is exactly what I have. I'm going to share my entire screen, and hopefully I don't get embarrassed. Okay, there we go. Let me click on Embrilliance. Now, if I go to my applications, you can see right here, I still have that demo account. Let me see what happens if I click on it. So right now, I had it set just for Essentials. So whatever I was doing, I must have just been looking to see what can you do with just Essentials. Okay, there's another one, Alpha Tricks and Density Repair Kit. I don't have those. I have Essentials, Stitch Artist 1, Stitch Artist 2. But I did want to see how to do the knockdown stitch. So the other day I clicked on Enthusiast and I could see how to do knockdown in it. So this is a great way to just play with the system if you want to. And then here's my real account, and that's what I have up on my screen. So let's go ahead and just start. All right, watching on the big TV. The beauty about Embrilliance is you only have to buy what you need. Yes, I love that part, Stacy. So right now, I can't see what size of hoop I'm using because it would tell me that right down here. Let's go up here, I'm going to click on it. We're going to go right up here. Can you see I'm up in the top left corner, and I'm going to click on Embrilliance, and I'm going to go to Settings. So the hoop that I'm on right now is MH, stands for Mighty Hoop. I put these into the system. I don't know if my screen keeps going black and then coming back on your end. It's doing it on my iPad, and it's annoying, and I apologize. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'll try to notice when that happens so I don't go on. Okay, so right now I have in the system my 13 by 11 inch hoop. Let's go on down. Let's go to the 11 by 7.9. That's the largest Poulin flatbed single needle. That's the largest hoop for my single needle. Okay, so I'm just going to say okay. Now, if you noticed on my shirt, it's not a huge design. I know I'm kind of small now, but I did one the other day. I stitched out a design the other day, and I did it more like the size of a rhinestone template, and I did not like it that large. So this design is only a little over 9 inches. It's less than 9.5 inches wide. And I honestly feel like that's a good width. It could be, you know, taller, but I feel like that's a pretty good width. So I'm probably going to keep designs that I do for shirts under 10 inches. Okay, we're going to do a couple different things with letters tonight. PE design, but lost it in the move. I have PE design. I'm not even sure what that is. What PE design is. Okay, so we're going to do two things with letters. There's a couple different ways, a few different ways you can get words on here. I can think of three off the top of my head. So the first way that you can get words on here is what I'm going to do with the first word that I'm going to work with. And so right up here, this is the Create Designs icon, or I usually just call it the Create icon. Okay, my screen went black again. Can you guys let me know if it's flickering off and on for you? And I'll actually watch and see what you say. Okay, so we're going to click on Create. When I click on Create, and that is a Stitch Artist function. Now it's hard to tell what is a Stitch Artist 1 function versus what is a Stitch Artist 2 function versus what's a Stitch Artist 3. I don't have Stitch Artist 3. Oh good, Jennifer, thank you. It's not flickering on your end. I kind of think of, and Patrice, you can probably correct me if I'm wrong. I kind of think of Stitch Artist 3 being similar to having a Silhouette Studio type of program in your embroidery software, where you can take advantage of some of those design features like you do in Silhouette. But I don't know if that's accurate or not. I need to play more with Stitch Artist 3. Thank you, Doris. Thanks for letting me know. So this only shows up if you have Stitch Artist. What I'm going to do now is, I believe, a Stitch Artist 1 feature, but I can't swear to it. I'm going to go right over here to where it says TT. Stands for True Type Font. Now, we know that True Type Font was historically the way most fonts that we worked with were. Now they are open type fonts, which have more of the glyphs and all that. And you can pull in the fonts that are on your system. So I don't think TT is quite accurate anymore, but that's still what it's called. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Stacy. So I'm going to click on this, and that's going to allow me to type in letters that I have on my computer system. Nothing I've purchased, no embroidery fonts I've purchased, no fonts that I have native to Embrilliance, just any font I have on my system, or close to any font. So we're going to click on there. And when we do that, this little text box pops up. I'm just going to move it up so it's a little more centered. What I want to type is the word tough. Okay, first, let's talk about the font. I'm going to use Impact. Impact is what I used on the shirt I have on, and it's what I'm going to use in what I make tonight. We are going to add more words, but that's what we're going to start with. So I can click on Impact, and then I can highlight where it says your text here. And then in all caps, I'm going to not touch. We're not touching. We're toughen it out. Okay, so the word tough, and then I'm going to click OK. It's pretty small. Let's drag it out. And I am not particular at this point what size it gets to. I would like it to get somewhat close to the final size because that's going to help me with my design, but I'm not going to be too picky about it. So let's say that right there. That's 9 inches. It is going to grow because of some things we're going to do to it. Now, even though I like the width, I don't like the height. Let me see if my chat is okay. I don't think it's stopped. I don't like the height of it, so I'm going to drag it down, and you can see right here the dimensions that it is currently. So right now you can see it is 9 inches wide by 3 3/8 inches tall. Hey Robin, welcome. So I want to make this part into an applique. what I did on my wifey shirt is considered an applique, even though I did not put fabric in it. I wanted it just to be crisp and clean and just the outline. So even though you have something that is technically an applique, you don't have to put fabric down. Hey, Kim, welcome. Now, to do the applique feature, you do have to have, I believe, stitch artists, because it relies on this create button up here. And create is only there if you have a stitch artist level program. Okay, I believe that we are, hey Donzel, I believe we're probably still in Stitch Artist 1, but if anyone knows otherwise, let me know. So here's all the different types of stitches. Right now it's on nothing. This is no stitches. You have this basic, I think that's a run stitch. Yeah, a run stitch you can see over here. You can do this satin border, which I could have just done instead of making it an applique. Hey, Delonda, but I wanted to have the option of it actually being an applique, which is why I used applique. This is applique. This is fill, so it fills in the whole thing. Let's see, here's another one that I use quite a bit, but I don't have it at that size. That is stippling. You can change the spacing, and like I use this when I do mug rugs. But not that big. And if you're not, it's not working well in the letters. If you're not familiar with mug rugs, where is my whole crate of mug rugs? Where's my mug rug when I need it? Oh, goodness. Well, a mug rug, there they are. Let me grab these. A mug rug is kind of a fabric coaster, and so typically you think of mug rugs for being for coffee cups. And I know I'm small, but here, I'll show you. That's a mug rug. And so it has stippling in the background here, which just kind of gives it a nice effect. This one has pink stippling on it. Don't know if you can see it. This one has kind of a bright purpley pink stippling on it. That's what stippling is. Okay, let's get back to what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one right here. This is the applique feature. So we'll click on that. And the border stitches that you see are called E-stitches. So over here where I'm circling, that's the type of stitch that is. You have some other types. You have a blanket stitch, which to me looks similar to the E-stitching. You have zigzag or none, but I'm going to use satin. This is what I typically, this is the only thing I've used so far. Let me get a drink. Now I just stick with the density that is the default. I stick with 5, but I usually do increase the stitch width. So let's click on that and let's just drag it up. Now the video I'm working on, for some reason, I couldn't drag it up past 4. You'll see that in the video, so I had a workaround. Basically all I did was I went inside here and I ended up typing in the width of the stitch I wanted. Now, you might say, wow, that looks terrible. It does right now, but we're going to fix it. There's a couple of things or a few things that we're going to do to fix this. First of all, let me click on the H and I'm going to move it to the right. And I am using the right arrow on my keyboard to move this over. Okay, I think that looks fine. I hate that it's the start color because it's hard for you guys to see it. We're going to deal with the fact that they're all over the place here in a minute. Let me just change this real quick. I want you to see it better. So I'm clicking on the color, and then for now I'm just selecting this whatever, something white it says. Does it say winter white? I don't know. Yeah, winter mint. Okay. Can you guys see that a little bit better? than that dark charcoal. I think that's going to be better for you to see. Hey, Angie. Welcome. All right, so I moved the H over. Now let's select the G and the H. And notice how I'm trying to draw around. That's not the best way to do it. If that happens to you, go back up here to the Create tool, click on it. Now I can easily and smoothly just circle around what I want to work with. Now, let's see. She mentioned what embroidery software is she using again. So Michelle, I am using Stitch Artist 1, 2, as well as Essentials. And I'm trying to say what's what as I go to the best of my knowledge. It may not be 100% accurate. But Stacy, Lady Bear, did say that, what's Carly Bell, is that her name? I think it was Carly Bell, has a chart that shows all the differences. I think Sharon Davenport sent one to me one time as well, or a link to me. All right, so we're going to hit the right arrow on my keyboard and move that over a little bit. Let's grab these. And there's other obvious problems with this. We're going to fix those as well. Okay, let's move this over. And you know what? That T can be a little bit closer because the only place that it's close is right here. And if you get it too far away, then your gap here starts getting a little bit large. Okay, so it's improved a little bit. Hey, Linda Tolbert, welcome. It has improved a little bit, but we still have some major issues. For example, there's a teeny tiny little opening in this O. There's virtually no opening here, very little opening here, and basically none there. So we're going to get into point editing. And I know people hear that and they go, oh my gosh, it's really not difficult. It really isn't difficult in this type of situation. So let's just start over here with the H. Why do I go backwards? Why don't I start from left to right? Notice I'm going right to left. Okay, so we have our H selected. Let me zoom in a little bit. And then to move over your screen, you hit the shift bar and then hold the shift bar down and drag. Well, on me, I'm dragging on my trackpad, but you would drag your mouse. Thank you guys for being here. All right, so notice you can't see your editing points right now. If you go up to Create and click on it, there they are. So if you're ever confused, like why can I see certain things and not others, just go back and forth on this Create, because every other time you click on it, different things show up. Okay, so here's my editing points. We're going to start down at the bottom. I could move everything I want to move in one process, but I want to teach how the process works before I start just grabbing stuff and going. Hey, Rosetta. So to make a larger opening here and here, I have a couple of options. I could either just grab, and I'm circling around. That's one way you can grab them. I'm grabbing those two edit points. If you truly have that edit point, editing point, I don't know the appropriate name. We're going to call them whatever I want to call them, edit point. If you truly have the edit point, if you guys know the name, tell me so I don't sound like an idiot. But if you truly have it, it's going to turn blue. And then on my keyboard, I'm going to hit the right arrow, and it opened it up. Now, I want to keep it symmetrical. So now I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'm going to hit the left arrow. So that's one way you can do it. Another way is you can click a point, hold the command button down, at least on a Mac. Hey, Miss Joyce, go down here. While your command is held down, click on that one, release the command button, and then use that arrow again. We'll do that one again. We'll click on this point, hold the command button down, click on this point. They are both selected, you can see because they're blue, and shift it over. Now, when I did it that way, I narrowed up this H. So let's look at another way we could do this. I'm going to hit Command Z to go back. I think that's where we started. So we'll click on the H. And what I could have done is I could have selected everything. I'm on a trackpad, so I'm kind of slow. I could select all these edit points or whatever they're called and let go, and you see they're all selected. Now, whenever I'm working with this stop and start thingy here, I don't typically use the command function. I usually just circle it. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to hit the right arrow key until I like the gap. So the difference between what I just did and what I did the first time was I left the width of the two sides of the H alone, and I just made this part wider. So does that make sense? Do you see the difference in the two ways that I handled this H? So Patrice is doing a deep dive. I was talking to Patrice earlier on the phone, and I was telling her about a case that unfortunately a couple was murdered in a humongous hiking park in Arkansas that Tim and I have hiked at before. And so we know that Patrice loves her true crime, so now she's deep diving on that. Okay, last way is better. Just see, it was so much more efficient, and I like that it kept the width of the two pieces of the H intact. Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, Capricia. All right, so there's the H. Let's move to the G. And then let me move my screen over. I hit the shift, not the shift. Let me back up. Blah, blah, blah. I hit the space bar, and then on my trackpad or a mouse, slide it over, then let go of both. All right, so let's see, what do we want to do with this one? Let's just play around with it. I could do the same thing I did with the H, but I kind of want to show you something in here in the middle when you're working with curves. So we're going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm going to select everything except for the center point. So I have this point, this point, this point, and this point selected, and I'm going to hit the left arrow. Again, I could have selected everything like I did on the H and done that. That would be one way to do it. Okay. Now, if we click off of it, well, it still looks okay. What if, though, I didn't really think about it and I grabbed the points, including that center point, and I shifted those over? Now we start degrading. No, it doesn't look bad yet. Come on. We need a little, okay, here, it doesn't look so good down here. We need something to look bad. Notice how this is kind of straight and then it curves this way. And that's because this point right here really isn't in the center anymore. So I'm going to drag it to the right just a little bit. A little bit more. It kind of evened it out. This worked better in my practice. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so I made enough room up here, but I made this arrow narrow and this area is wide. So I'm going to hit Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Okay. So I think now I moved this one time. So now let's go over on this right side. We're going to click that one, hold the command down, click, 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 click. And there's one more down there. But for now, I'm going to hit the right arrow. And then let's go down there. Let's find it. Click on it, hit the right arrow. Okay, let's see if I can straighten this up a little bit. Okay, a little bit better. Now, we still have an issue here. So what are we going to do? I think that I would, and a lot of this is just trial and error. I'd grab all these again. Oops, that happens sometimes. I'd grab all these again, and I hit the right arrow, and that doesn't look bad. I mean, it's pretty close. Let's go one more time. Now here we go. Look how bad that's starting to look. Let's grab this one and drag it back a little bit more to the center. I can pull it down a little bit, and I pulled it down to a V. So let's push it back up a little bit, and there we go. Now, if you really want to get into it, you can start messing with these. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to hit Command Z. Okay, so is this anything that's new to anyone here and it's helpful? Because I don't want to waste your time if it's not. We're going to go a little bit more quickly. And move that down a little bit. I'm just going to try to get everything I need. I just messed something up. What did I do? Edit. Let's go back. I don't know what I did. Okay, let's try to draw around it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm obviously doing something wrong. Okay, let's just make it smaller and shift it up. Okay. New to you. Thank you. Very helpful. New to you. I've never worked in Embrilliance. It's new to me completely. New to me. Very helpful. Okay, good. Good, good, good. All right. I'm going to try to go from this side because that other side was being a little pickle. So I'm going to grab all the editing points on the left side. I can see what is selected because they're blue. On my keyboard, I'm going to hit the left arrow, and I think I'll go one more time. Okay, let's zoom in right here. Let's see what that looks like. Look at those beautiful stitches. Okay, we're going to take this node, is that what it's called? Editing point, drag it back to the middle, and that looks just a little bit better. And we didn't narrow down these sides. Otherwise, we could have selected this one, this one, this one, moved it left. You guys can't see my finger. Move it left. Select this one, this one, this one, move it right. But then you're narrowing these up. It's just totally up to you how you want to do it. We have one more here. And then we're going to respace these out. All right, let's select all. Whoops, you missed one. Let's select all those. Missed it. I don't know if I'm going to get them all. I look like a little drunk driver. Okay, let's see what we have. We have most of what I want. I'm going to hold the command button down. I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to add, what? Okay, don't do what I just said. Okay, let's drag around. Let me start over, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on this fairly small laptop. Okay. Pick one, command, pick, select all of them that guys, goodness. I may just do them part at a time. Let's see. Oh, I think I'm getting lucky. Let's see what we have. Okay. I don't have anything from the center, so let's just go ahead and hit the left arrow, and that's good. But now I feel like I need to put this back in the middle. I feel like I need to put this back in the middle. I feel like I need to put this back in the middle. And, you know, I mean, this isn't bad, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I think that looks good. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and select the T, move it over. Let's see what else we need to move over. These two are almost touching. So I'm going to select, let's go to the Create button. I'm going to select everything from here on over and move it to the right. Okay, that doesn't look bad. That looks really, really large though. Hey, Bonetta, at the bottom of G, since you moved the top curve. Oh, yeah. Oh my, look at how bad that looks. Let's take a look at that. Who was that? You're so good. Thanks, Patricia, for being observant, because that G looks terrible. All right, let's look at its nodes or edit points or whatever they are. Icky, 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 icky. Okay, I'm going to go to Create and they'll show up. Here's, I think I'm going to try to select this and this. Let's see what happens when I move those. Whoops, I need to do something with this one too. I'm getting a little narrow there. And this is getting really narrow. Now I'm just kind of playing. Let's move that over because I have an idea here. I like how it's spaced out, but I don't like how this is so huge and this isn't. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm now going to try to grab everything in the middle of this G, and I'm going to try to move it all left one click. I think that's passable. I think that looks better than it did. Patricia, I'm glad you said something about the G. I don't know that I fixed what you brought up. Oh, that needs to be moved over. Oh, Marilyn. Edit, undo. Everything was still selected. See, they're still blue. Let me click off of it, and then let's move just that one over a little bit. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. There might be a better way to fix it, but I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Hey, Tanya. Hey, Coretta. Okay, so we are pretty much done with the word tough. Now let's see how huge it got, because like I was saying earlier, I like on my embroidery designs to keep them smaller than I like my bling designs. Okay, I think it looks better. So let's see how large this turned out. I can go right over here at the top and click on the word tough, and it's going to select everything. Because if I just click over here, I'm just clicking on the H right now. So let's click on the word tough, and I'm now at 9 11/16. Remember, I think I said I wanted to, thank you, Jessie. I think I said I wanted to keep it closer to like 9.5 or a little less than that. So now I can just, without making it shorter, I can just nudge the whole thing over, and I should be there. I'm at 9.5. If they start getting too close, spread them out again, make it smaller again. You just keep working on it until you like it. Now, I don't like that the G is closer to the U than the H. And oops, I didn't really like that, but let's do it that way. There, it's probably going to be a little larger. I'm going to go up to Create so I can select it easily like this. And it's just barely over 9.5. It's going to be fine. I like that. Now, another thing, like I was working on a file, see this G? I think that looks pretty wimpy. And so if you want to beef up something like that, and you'll see this on the video, if you watch the video that comes out tomorrow, I did something like this. Select the T, go up to Create, and then I want to get all these nodes, editing points, whatever they are, drop them down 1, drop them down 2, however far you want it. And I think that looks better. If I wanted them longer, I could make them longer, wider. I guess wider is the better word. Thanks, Patricia. But this is looking pretty good. So now I want to go to Tough. Everything's selected, so I'm going to go up to Edit and Group. Then, ooh, I forgot to do a step. Okay, let's now go up to the Stitch Simulator. Stitch Simulator's right here. We'll click on it. And here's what we have. We have a position stitch or a placement stitch. Then we have the satin border. What are we missing? What are we missing? And I know they're not done in the most efficient order. We're going to fix that in just a little bit. But what, anybody that's familiar with Applique, what's missing? Let's see, I'm doing this design as, and I can't see the rest of that because there's something in the way. So Marianne, I'll look at that question when it goes up a little bit further. Faker McFake, what module are you using? So I have Stitch Artist 2, which includes Stitch Artist 1, and I have Essentials. So far, I believe I have only been using, yes, Coretta. So far, I believe I've only been using Stitch Artist 1 features. Yes, Sharon, tack down, tack. Good, Mylene. Everybody's saying it. Okay, thanks, Betty. If you go back and you look at the beginning of the video, you'll see there is a demo account you can download where you can click off or on any aspects of this software that you want to. So if you want to see what does Essentials do, just click on Essentials. If you want to see what does Enthusiast do, just click on Enthusiast. It is a wonderful way to get familiar with the software without spending a penny, but you cannot save your designs and use them as embroidery files. It's truly just a demo account where you're researching, what do I need? Do I want this? Do I like this? I'm not affiliated with Embrilliance, but I like it. Okay, so I am in the Stitch Simulator, and this is very, very inefficient to do one letter at a time. So we have a couple things to do. To get out of the Stitch Simulator, I'm going to click right up here on the Create, and that gets me out of it. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is, let's click on Tough, and it's already on Applique. I can fix it there. But let's say this isn't lit up, you're somewhere else, you would click on Applique. Now, if these don't even show up, click on Create again, because if you toggle back and forth, well, they're staying on mine. But I'm telling you, I find so many things by just toggling on this or clicking on this multiple times. Okay, so right here, material, that is what we call tack down, is not selected. And in my software, it is not the default. So I always have to click it on. So what's interesting is if I click it on and I decide, oh, I'm going to have my Cricut cut my fabric out, then I can say it's a pre-cut and it goes away. But if you want the tack down, click that. And even though, just like that shirt I have on, I did not put material in it, when I do my designs, I want them to be a complete applique design in case I want to use material someday, or in case I want to sell it or give it away. Hey, Kim, welcome. Hey, Shay Shay. All right, so now if we go back to Stitch Simulator, you are going to see that we have our position or placement stitch. We have our tack down or our material stitch, and then we have a satin border. But notice this is still super inefficient because it's doing one letter at a time. We don't want to do a placement stitch, put one piece of fabric on, take it off, cut around it, and then do the satin border and then start all over. Hey, Yolanda, we want to do all of the position stitches together. We want to lay down our piece of fabric. We want to do all of our tack down together. We want to cut all the excess off at the same time. So let's get out of the Stitch Simulator by clicking on Create. And this next step, thank you, Sharon Davenport, for teaching me this. This is why I bought Essentials. I was trying to hold off. Now I'm going to go up to Utility, And I'm going to use the color sort feature, which again is an essentials feature. So I'll click on color sort, and then it asks me, do I want to see this in a new view? I always just say yes. And notice it decreased my design by 12 color changes. Okay, so new view. Now notice I have Untitled 2, which is my new view, or I can go back and look at my old one. But we're going to keep working from this. Over here, you can see kind of a visual of it, but let's go back to Stitch Simulator. Click on it, and now we're going to all of our position stitches, or all of our placement stitches. We're going to get all of our, okay, so after that, if you're new to embroidery, this placement or position stitch shows us where to lay fabric down. So we do that stitch first. Then we put our piece of fabric on our hoop, still on our machine. Thanks, Jennifer. And then we do the tack down, or what they call the material stitch. Now, if you are having Cricut or another cutter cut your fabric, you don't necessarily need to do this. Then after that, you take it off the hoop. I'm sorry, don't take your fabric off the hoop. You take your hoop off your machine, leave your fabric in your machine, and you cut away the excess fabric. Then you put it back on, and lastly, you get this beautiful satin border. Okay, so there we are so far. Now remember I said I have 3 ways of getting letters or words into my design. That was one way. Let's look at the second way. We're going to keep building on this design. And let me take a drink. Okay, so the second way that I'm going to do it is by using fonts that either came with Embrilliance or that I've added to it. Excuse me. And most of the fonts I've added to it are Shay-Shay's fault for introducing me to Stitchtopia. Now, does Designs by Juju have fonts also? Shay-Shay. Hey, Samika, welcome. So the second way of adding my words to my design is to go right here where you see the little letter A, and okay, I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to go have a little coughing fit. I'm going to make my air come on, and I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back. Maybe this means I'm talking too much. When I was working and I would have days I'd go into the classroom and talk all day, this would happen. Okay, Shay-Shay, I missed it, but I think that might be your word yes up there, so let me know. Does Designs by Juju? Shay-Shay has an affiliate account with Designs by Juju. Does she also have fonts? Okay, so I'm going to click on this A. And you see right here, the ABC, and then you have this little block over here. This block over here is going to allow me to put in what text I want. But first, let's pick what font I want. Okay, thanks, Bobby. She does. So we're going to click on this, and if the font is purple, it came with Embrilliance. So those top fonts all came with Embrilliance. The rest of these fonts are fonts that I've purchased. Now, I've only purchased a bundle that had 10 fonts, and I don't remember how much it was. I think it was $17 or so, and it came with 10 fonts. And then I've bought 5 or so additional fonts when they were on sale for $2.99 each. So I don't have a ton of fonts. It looks like I do because they're all different sizes of the same font. Excuse me. So we're going to go right here with this Stitchtopia Sicily, and we're going to do the 1.5 inch. Let's click on that. And then I'm going to type in the words life. Oops, I don't want it all capitalized. That's from doing the word tough. Life is, and then I'll hit enter. And there's my words like this. Okay, if I drag one of those, it's just going to drag that letter. We don't want that, so let's hit Command Z. I'll click off of it, click back on it. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, drag the whole thing. Just don't click on a green square. And I have the word like this. That looks pretty little and wimpy. Let's click on that again. Let's bump it up to the 1.5. And that's better. Now notice here that life is has 2,592 stitches. Jennifer, you got a bunch from Juju this month. I need to go in and look. Maybe get a couple more. All right, so notice there's 2,592 stitches. Even though you have your 1.25, your 1.5, your 1.75 or 2, you can adjust these a little bit. And notice that stitch count goes from 2,592 to 2,709. So it is increasing the stitches. Thanks, Tanya. She said, hit that like button. It is increasing the stitches so that you keep the integrity of what that letter or the word looks like. I don't like some parts of this. So let me zoom in on it so we can see it a lot better. I think it's kind of squished that way. I want to move some things apart. So first of all, I want to move the word is over to the right. I'm going to click on that I. Then I'm going to click on the green dot or square. And if I move it from this bottom arrow, I can move both of those over like that. If I click on the middle green arrow or the middle green square and just do it, it moves just the I. So the bottom, the square moves just the letter. The bottom one, and it's hard for you to tell I even clicked on it, but I did. The bottom one moves both letters, but they stay the same distance apart from each other. Let's show you something over here. If I click on the square for this one and I go to the up arrow, if I move it using the up arrow, watch what happens. Everything moves apart in the same amount. So let's hit Command Z. So again, just the square moves just that letter. And if you're just hitting that square, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard. If you click the down arrow, you're moving everything from that letter to the right over, but you're not changing the distance between the letters. If you use the up arrow, you're moving everything and you're increasing or decreasing the space between letters. So let's go ahead and click on this I again. Click on the square of the I, and let's move these two over. I think they need to be further away from the word life. Let's click on this I, and let's click on the up arrow. So what's the up arrow going to do? Is it going to keep its space the same, or is it going to change the spacing between all the letters? Awesome, Shay Shay. the up arrow, does that change the spacing between the letters, or does it just move all the letters but keep the spacing the same? It changes all. Yes. So I probably shouldn't mess with this yet because it's going to change the spacing over there too. But I'm going to move to the left because I don't want this gap between the I and the F and the F and the E. I to the F and the F to the E. Okay, so let's move it back over. I like the I and the F. Do I like the F and the E? I think that E could be moved over a little bit. So I'm going to click just on the square and use the left arrow on my keyboard. Let's move this L over. If I wanted to make the L a little larger, I could. And, whoops. Click on the S. And I want it to be up higher, just like the IFE is by the L. Okay, let's see how this looks. Other than the fact that, you know, the letters are small, I think it looks good. Here's what's going to happen. If I select all this and I say, oh, I wish I would have used the next size up. Watch what happens. I want to go up to 2 inches. All the work that I just did goes away and you're starting over. So we're going to select the I. For now, I'm going to use the down arrow. Just move all of it over. Let's do the F. Now let's use the up arrow, move the F and the E over. Now let's click on the I. Let's use the down arrow, so I move both of those over. And I think that looks fine. So we have life is tough. And we're going to do the same thing basically down here. We're going to go back to the A. We're going to stay with the 2-inch Stitchtopia Sicily. And we're going to say, but so am I. Oopsie. Wrong. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Marilyn. Marilyn. Where'd your brain go, Marilyn? Okay. All right, so we're going to take just a minute to fix some of these things. I'm going to move the T over. I'm going to move the S over. I don't necessarily need the S and the O to be touching. And then here I'm going to, let's see, I want to move everything over but keep the spacing the same. And then I'm going to click on this M. And I'm just going to slightly move it so it hooks into that A. I think the I needs to be moved over a little bit. And that looks pretty good. So let's select the whole thing and let's select the whole thing, move it down a little bit. And I kind of like it all. Let's move that in just a tiny bit. Let's select the word tough and but so am I. Now let's go up to utility, align, and then let's center those over each other. So we'll click on center and apply. And then close. Now it looks off-centered because it is taking into consideration this T. I don't really like it, and I often do this in Cricut too, even though technically it's centered. I'm going to move it back over this way just a little bit. And let's see. Let's kind of tuck this. Let's kind of tuck. Why aren't you moving? Let's tuck this in right there. I want that F between the T and the L. All right. So now I am going to select everything, and I'm going to go up to Edit, Group, and then with all the designs that I make, I always put them in the center of the hoop, so that when I put this onto my machine, I put something on the hoop and add my hoop to the machine, I have a consistent way of knowing exactly where it's going to be. It's going to be in the center of that hoop. Then if I want it higher or lower, I move the hoop on the machine on my multi-needle versus moving the design inside the hoop in Embrilliance. So I just always like it to be in the middle. So we have it all selected. We're going to go to Utility, Center and Hoop, and I'm done. What do you guys think? Do you like that design? Now remember, you want this? Okay, Shay Shay. Maybe. So the last thing I did in the members tab was the gratitude attitude bling file. And oh, we're doing our Zoom this Saturday. For anybody that's a member, if you did not see the members post last night, I posted the link to the Zoom invitation. You have to click on the Zoom invitation link. You have to register. When you register with an email. It's going to send you an email back with the link on how to get into the Zoom. So right after you register, you should have an email. If you don't have an email, check your spam, check everything. And that will get you in. So the Zoom is this Saturday at 2 o'clock. I'm going to be doing some bling. Kind of the thought was to give away the gratitude attitude so you can do that in the Zoom, but you don't have to. If you don't like the file, if you've already made the file, you can do any bling that you want. And I'll try to show you this design. How long have we been on? An hour and 10 minutes? We might brush this one in real quick. So you can either use the gratitude attitude one that I gave away to the members, or you can do whatever you want. If you don't want to do bling, you don't have to do bling, because you know what? You support me each month. You provide so that I can keep doing this, and you can do what you want. I just want to have the company, and I want all of us to have the fellowship. Okay. Oh, Shamika, you're in Mississippi keeping your grands. Oh. Okay, you cut your template out tonight. Okay, so anyway, this Life is Tough. I'm not sure if I'll wait and do it as a member giveaway in August, because I like to do a member I've done a lot of member giveaway, at least one a month, but usually more than one a month. So I'll just do this as a member giveaway in August, which is just around the corner. So it'll be soon. All right, good, Bobby. I hope to see you there, 2 o'clock Central Time. All right, so let me go up here. File, save as. For now, I'm just going to save it as a DST because that's the type of file that my machines use, that the 2 machines that I still use. When I do the giveaway, or when I put this in, you know I don't usually sell embroidery templates because I just don't like all the questions. But I can always save it as a PES, as an EXP, as a Husqvarna, as a JEF, a VP3. And Patrice told me what ones are the main ones, and so that's what I've been saving it as. If you're a member and you've gotten a file, but you're like, none of those are my extension, let me know and I'll add another extension, because it only takes that long. Okay, so I'm going to do it as a DST. I always label mine EMB for embroidery, so they all are together. And Life is Tough. And I'm going to call this 2 because I played around with this and made it myself. So the first one's probably just Embroidery Life is Tough. So I'll say save, and now I have it on my computer. Now, I said there was 3 ways to get words in. Let's look at the third way. So let me go to Applications and let's go to Silhouette. I have Silhouette Studio Business Edition. That allows you to make SVGs. What'd you say, Rishi? Here I am out of the bushes for a minute. I want this design. All right, Rishi, you're a member. You are a member, so you're going to get it. Okay. So let's say design, and let's click over here on the text tool, and I'm going to type a word. Let's just stick with, let's just do life. No, let's do a harder one, because sometimes the insides of letters come in weird and you have to really play around to get them to work. So let's do love, because it has an inside the L. And then let's make it bigger. Let's make it a different font. Let's just stay with impact. And then I just want to change it to color. It doesn't really matter if I do or not, but let's take this and save it. So I'm going to say File, Save As. I do not want you guys to see my desktop. My son saw it the other day. He was over my shoulder and he was like, how do you find anything on there? So judge me, don't judge me. I know you're, like if you're careful with your desktop, you're going to hate it. Okay, let's do in Embrilliance. Let's start a new one. And we're almost done here. But I want to show you this third way. I love impact too. Okay, so I'm going to go File. No, I'm not. I'm going to go up to Create. And I'm going to click on Vector. This is a Stitch Artist 2 function. To bring in an SVG, you went to, okay, Stacy, you'll get it too. Your daughter says the same things to you. So I'm going to click on Vector, and this is a Stitch Artist 2 function. So I click on Vector, and it, oh good, you can't see my whole desktop. It shows me anything that I can bring in that is an SVG. What did I call it? Love. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Now you know why my son looked over my shoulder and gasped. Okay, so we say open. Here it is. That's the third way that you can bring in words, letters, things like that. Hi, Denise Lewis. Welcome. I am trying to get my aunt to let me use her embroidery machine. Since she doesn't use it, it's not working too well for you. Kelly, well, when it comes out, if you want to download them so that, maybe in the future, if it works out, then you'll have it. I saw that, Evelyn. Okay, so now let's see what's going to happen when we try to, okay, you can go around them like that. That is not the best way. Let's go up to Create, and then I can select everything. Let's see what's going to happen here. If I go up to Create, and let's just do a tatami fill. The middle of that O is probably going to fill in. And this was a thorn in my side. And it took me a long time to figure it out. And only after having a conversation with Patrice did I figure it out. She set me on the right path. Okay, so we click on it, and there it is. Now, what I have found is I don't group them yet. Smurf Creations, Sylvia, whoop, 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 whoop. That's what I'm having to do tonight because I don't have a bell. So, whoop, whoop, thank you. Now, here's what I don't know, Sylvia, and Cheryl had emailed me. What I don't know and what I'd love for you to check is, can you go see can you see posts that are still posted, but that were posted before you became a member? So if you go look at my posts, can you see the invitation that I posted last night? Because if you can't, I will repost it tonight. And what Cheryl couldn't see was when I gave out the gratitude attitude file. And I want all the members to have, excuse me, to have access to that for the Zoom. And of course, I take those things down because, you know, they're for members of that month. But Sylvia, if you'll go check the post and let me know if you can see the invitation from yesterday, and can you see when I published the gratitude attitude file? Okay. So what I have found is don't group it together yet. And I don't think it'll even work like this. Let me make this a little bigger. Let's see. Let's just play with it. Create, outline, and then combine holes. Okay, it did not work. And I think this is why. Those posts are on YouTube in the members only posts. So now let's just click on the O. And now I'll bet it'll work. I hope it'll work. Go to outline, combine holes. Oh, no, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Sharon, it worked for you, and I told you how I did it, didn't it? Okay, let's try it again. Let's go just on the O. Utility. Nope, nope, nope. Click on create. There we go. Create, outline, combine holes. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a problem. Yes, it did. Usually this works for me. I select that one thing, I go to create, and I say outline, combine holes. Let's just play. Create, outline, what's this? Combine designs. I don't think that's going to do it. Create, outline. Let's see what happens if we say delete holes. I've never used that. Nope. You know what I need to do now? You can get them all. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Okay, Mary, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Oh, let me look at something. I think I know. I think I know. I think that only the O is selected. Let me hold the command down and click on the inside. Maybe it's going to work now. Okay, because that changed. Create, outline, combine holes. Yes. Okay. So let me go back and tell you the difference. First, I clicked on the O, and literally that's all that's selected. Look here. That is that's another one. So if you click over here, hold the command down, add that to it. Then you can go to create, outline, and combine holes. There we go. Thank goodness. So Jane, I save mine as a stitching and a working file, because once you save it as a stitching file, that's it. In Embrilliance, I mean, that's the file you have. Whereas if you save a working file, you can go back and make changes to the working file and you can resave it. So I like to save it as both. Now, let me show you, Marianne, I think what's going to happen. Let's go back. Okay, so let's just select it. What I think is I'm going to get a solid, yeah, I just get a solid O. So you can't just delete that. So you are going to select everything that's part of this O and not be sloppy like I was at first. I can see over here that the outside and the inside are both selected. Then you're going to go to create, outline, no, create, what? Yeah, combine holes. Create, outline, combine holes. And it goes away. So that's the third way to get letters and words in. Couldn't you delete the, okay. You're welcome, Marianne. I tried all kinds of different things and I guess it's not working. And I think even after I knew it had to do with combined holes, I was making the same mistake I was using tonight that I was making tonight. I was just selecting it, thinking I had every part of it selected, and I didn't have every part of it selected. And so I had to figure that out. And I was talking back and forth with Sharon, and that's kind of what started me thinking about this. And I learned a lot from that exchange and from being able to work on a file that she was working on. And so I appreciate that. Here's what I think I'll do. I think that tomorrow I will repost the link, or tonight, maybe late tonight, because I don't think I'm going to get any new members after tonight, before Saturday. So tonight after the live, I'm going to repost Gratitude Attitude Bling template, and I'm going to repost the invitation link in a members post. Okay, so if you can't see them now, you'll be able to see them later. All right, so anybody remember the 3 ways to bring in words? You're welcome, Sharon. I really enjoyed it. It was like a real life experience of something to help me gain knowledge. All right, 3 ways to make words. Thanks, Donzel. And I can go ahead and delete this one. And I already saved that one. Now look, this is the first one. Remember, that is the one that I had before I did the color sort. I don't care to keep this one. I already saved the color sort one. I don't care to keep this one. So I'm going to say don't save. And then stop sharing. Ooh, I'm big. What happened to my other camera? There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, you guys are avoiding my question. Avoiding my question. What are the 3 ways? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and see if this cut well. Because even if I don't bling it tonight, and we've been on here an hour and a half almost. So I probably won't. But I will be putting, well, I don't know. I probably should. So I know if I like it before I put it in my Etsy shop. And Stacy, this looks different than when I showed you. And I have more flock on here than what I needed, so I'm gonna, there we go. I'm gonna take this off and cut away the flock that I didn't cut so that I don't waste it. Look at this Cricut mat. It looks terrible. This is from, what is this from? I think this is when I was using my Cricut to cut these out, and it just would dig into this mat. But I use my Cricut mats on my Caesar cutting machine. And I love my Cricut. I use my Cricut for everything except for flock. Ugh. You can bring in from, thank you. Sharon was listening. She's like, nobody's answering. I'll answer. Yes, so one way you can bring in letters is you can click on create and then click on the true type font, and you can bring in your system fonts. Then you have to tell the machine to make them into embroidery fonts or make them add embroidery stitches to them. A second way, yes, thank you, Mylene. You can bring in an SVG. And third, you can, we did SVG. Oh, third way is to put BX fonts into Embrilliance, which is super, super, super easy. You buy them on Etsy. I bought mine for $2.99. And you find your yellow file. You click on it. You get your yellow files. You might have to unzip it. All you do is you drag those yellow files onto the desktop or the working space of Embrilliance, and they're on there. That's it. Yeah, purchase fonts. Thank you. All right, let's see if it cut very well. Please, please, please. Ooh, we're off to not a great start. Oh my. Oh wait, it's not as. Ooh, that isn't very good. Clearly, a cutting machine is like, you haven't used me for a while, Mom. What's going on? It's not terrible, but it's not good. I got flock dots on my hand already. Okay, so you know we did the life is tough, but so am I. That's what this says. Now I first made this and it said life is tough, but so are you. And my husband looked at it, he's like, shouldn't that say but so am I? Because the person wearing it is, you know, the one that's tough. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. So I changed it. All right, let's see. Did I get all of them? Life is tough. I see a couple right there and right there. But so am I. And then I see some down here. On the ombre ones, it's kind of hard to tell because they're ombre. And then I can just scrape those off my table in a little bit. I see one left in the A. And I see one left in the H. And now my table has the purple measles. Life is tough, but so am I. Thank you to everyone that's in here. I hope that if you use Embrilliance that it was helpful. I hope if you don't use Embrilliance it was at least kind of interesting. I think I will go ahead and bling this out real quick just so you can see what it looks like. Oh yes, I used to do that. Okay, yeah, he's a smart guy. Shay Shay, what are you buying? Oh, the fonts. She was saying you can bring in purchase fonts. Okay, now let me grab a chopping mat so I can put this down on it, and then I got to figure out what colors. I am using a black shirt, so maybe I should use Labrador for the outline. I kind of want to use rainbow as part of it, but here's the deal is rainbow's kind of ombre by itself. So maybe for half of the ombre I would use rainbow. Then for the other half I'm going to have to use a solid color. I think I would like to do that. So that looks like something that came from Patrice. Yes, it's blue, so this is part of her bling box. She has one of her things is she does craft a bling box. And each month you can, it's a subscription-based thing, but you can halt or you can pause your membership when you want to. And so each month you get a box, and she has 2 levels, so it depends on what level you're in, what all comes in the box. And then for the highest level, the highest of the 2 levels, she also does a Zoom. Okay. Hopefully this is all going to fit on that. I think it will. I try to make my designs so you can be fairly compact with them. Now to pin my design down, you love Craft a Bling. Did you do the key ring? I haven't done it yet, Stacy. Jane, did you worked along with me? Jane, I want to see it. Even if you just post your Embrilliance file, not the stitch out, but if you stitch it out, I would love to see it. And I'm so happy you worked along with me. Okay, so I'm a little bit anal, and so that I make sure these get on there fairly straight, which I know sounds silly, but I'm silly. I'm a silly ass. Okay. No, stick down here. So let's start this over. There we go. So, well, I kind of have it fairly straight on the side. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but somewhat straight is good for my brain, so that's going to be straight enough. And I can just lay it down, and look, it's fairly straight. Okay, so rainbow. Anybody familiar with rainbow? Stacy, you did yours, didn't you? I feel like I saw you your post of it. It looked beautiful. So I think with rainbow, you could use the solid color of like rose or fuchsia or peridot, things like that. Now, when I made this is all grouped together. This is one piece, this is one piece, and this is one piece. So if you don't want to either have all three of these the same color, or you don't like taping off and doing them different colors, oops, you can separate Life Is as one piece, Tough as a second piece, and But So Am I as a third. But I do have them grouped together because this is the layout. And so I'm just going to have all those be the same color. With rainbow as my main color, you know I want to do Labrador as the outline. I love rainbow, Jessie. I don't know why I don't use it more often. Okay, so I'm just going to take this bottom part off. I'm going to grab my Labrador, I'm going to grab rainbow, and then I'm going to figure out after I do those two layers what I want the third one to be. So let's go ahead and make this larger. And just kind of move it so you can see it a little bit better. I'll grab those, I'll be right back. And then if you came in late, let me show you my shirt real quick. Tim and I celebrated our 32nd wedding anniversary yesterday. So I made this shirt that says wifey. This is embroidery. It is actually an applique file, but I skipped over the placement stitch and the tack down stitch. And I just did whatever this is called, the satin border. And I have a video that's going to come out on it tomorrow. I think it'll be out tomorrow. Hey, Melody, welcome. Bobby, which color? Are you talking about the rainbow? If so, just wait till you see it. It is pretty, very, very pretty. Okay, let's make sure that I'm charging. Don't have Patrice here yelling at me, so I gotta do it all on my own. Okay, so like I said, you could tape it off and do 3 different colors here. That probably would have been cute. You know what you could do is if the top half of Tough is rainbow, you could have this be rainbow, and then whatever the bottom half is, you could have that be this, and then something else in the middle. But I'm just going to kind of keep it simple. I'm a little simple. And do the whole thing in Labrador. Let me go ahead and turn on the heat press. And you know what? I don't even remember. Do I have links under my video? Are they working links? I set this up so long ago, which is so unusual for me, that I don't even remember what I put under there. Thank you. All right, Bobby. I think, I don't know. Shoot, I don't remember what font I used for Tough, but I did use Norfleet for the single line font. And I went back and forth between 3 or 4 different single line fonts. And I started working with this one today on it. I was like, I like the way that looks with it. So I just stayed with it. Again, it kind of goes back to that little OCD linear brain of mine, that this single line font is very straightforward. And so it just works with me. If you're a little OCD about things, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's start looking. Jesse, you see any extra stones? Chris, you in the bushes on your huge TV? My camera's not angled very well. Thanks, Melody. Oh, Bobby, thank you. He's a good man. He is a good, good man for putting up with me for so long. But that's just kind of the way it works, you know. Maybe he has something going on. He has a bad time, and it's up to me to pick up the slack. And then maybe I have a bad time. It's up to him to pick up the slack. You know, it's just the way it is. Kind of like with your kids or with your parents, with your friends. Sometimes you just have to give grace instead of being right. But between you and I'm usually right. Right, Tim, if you're watching? I don't think he's watching, but sometimes you have to give grace and just keep your mouth shut. And it probably took both of us quite a while to learn that. But we did. We learned it. All right. I think everything's good. Yep. Missing a stone in the F. And did I fix that already? Oh, you know what, Jesse? I don't think that piece came out. I missed that one. So where's my little picker tool? Oh my goodness. Where's my weeding tool? Okay. Thank you. There we go. Found one. Thanks, Jesse. Yeah, I'm going to try not to pop these stones out, but it's likely I may have to fix a few. There we go. Jolanda, I know. He does a good job. All right. That looks good. Now, I don't have any of my transfer tape over here. It's just right here. We'll grab it. I honestly didn't know if we'd make it to this, but I'm glad we did. Yes, Jesse for the win. Thanks, Sylvia. Hey, Sean. Thank you. Wow, Jesse. Okay. I haven't done Bling on Life much, so I'm a little nervous. So let's do it. Okay. Fine. Get those all stuck down and then just slowly lift it up in case some of the stones are staying in the holes. And after the great flock gate, what year was that? 2022? Flock changed and it became a lot more sticky. And so sometimes the adhesive would be in the holes and your stones didn't come up very easily. But those all came up, so I'm good. All right, let me set this over here on some stuff I have on the floor and clean up my table real quick. These Labrador stones, one time I accidentally put some crystal stones in with my Labrador stones. And I spent a lot of time combing through them. And I still find a crystal stone in there once in a while. Actually, it was a different bottle, which I still have in there. I try not to use those on live because I don't want to have to deal with looking through it for crystal stones that are on my template. But sometimes I still use them on live. And I saw my heat presses at like 385 because the last thing I did was something sublimation. I don't remember what sublimation, but it was something sublimation. So let's get that down to 350. We don't need 55 seconds. We're going to do 15 seconds. Oops, not 5. 15. Okay. Got another stone there. Now, what did I just... There they are. Okay. Let's go ahead and pre-press this. Get that moisture out. And I should have my lint roller over here. I don't. But it looks pretty good, so we're going to move on without it. And I see a few pieces. All right, let's pre-press that just for about 10 seconds. And then, since this is a symmetrical, oh my, I dripped water on my template. Since this is a symmetrical design, let's go ahead and find the center of the shirt so I don't have to move it 15 times. Because we don't have time for that tonight. Do I have the center? Nope. I do not. All right, press that for another 5 or 10 seconds. All right. And I'm going to move this because putting something hot down on that would probably warp it. If it's like my cutting mats, putting something hot on those warps them. Okay. So I'm going to look and see what appears to be the center of my design. And what appears to be the center of the design is pretty much the center of the U. I pulled the little plastic where it goes on a hanger in the store. Pulled that off. Okay, so the I straight above the U and the U, those appear to be the center. So that looks good. Now, even though I say that looks good, I'm a little wackadoodle. So I gotta kind of do a reality check. That'll work, I think. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Let's see. Right there. 4 3/4. That's good. So if you were here for Embrilliance, and if you're new to Rhinestones, these are called hot fix rhinestones. A hot fix rhinestone has glue on the back. Of course, the glue is dry. Oh, let me change this. The glue is dry, but it does have glue on the back, and so the heat melts that glue, and then it solidifies back quickly. It melts it just enough to stick to the shirt. And you pull off the tape, and the stones stayed in. So we have layer 1 done. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, it is straight. My camera's not straight. That's why it looks crooked. But it's straight. It's straightish. It is straightish. The camera makes it look weird. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. Really, that's kind of cute like that. But we gotta add more to this. So I'm gonna do the top half of the word tough in rainbow. And who was it earlier that said, is that a color I don't have? Was that Bobby who said they thought maybe that was a color they hadn't heard of? You will love it. If you like pink, you'll love it. If you don't like pink, you may not love it. But it's pinks and greens and kind of goldish colors, and it looks different from different angles. So I have a rhinestone tumbler that I drink out of, sometimes on lives, that's made out of rainbow. So pretty. Right, Shay Shay, pink, pink, pink. Now, again, if you're new to rhinestones, these are hot fix rhinestones. They work with heat. If you want to put rhinestones on a hard surface such as a tumbler or a keychain, you know, a hard keychain like in the Crafty Bling box, then you have to use what's called flat back rhinestones, and you have to add your own glue. So an E6000, E7000, things like that. Was there a stone missing on the top of the E? Let's look. Let's look. How many E's are in this? 1 E. Oh, you are so right. Is it still on the tape? Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, you know why? It was upside down. So if a stone is upside down and you don't notice it, it is not a big deal, because the top side of the stone's not going to stick to the shirt. But I can see, despite that, a little bit of melty on the back. So I'm not going to reuse that stone. One stone is like, what, 1/4 cent? And I'm not going to worry about my design over one stone. So what I'm going to do is put my one little stone on. I'm not going to press it yet, but I will put my one little stone where it goes, and then I'll put a little piece of scrap tape over that stone. I keep small scraps. Let's just clip off a piece of that. Okay, which stone was it? That one? Good job. Who saw that? Kelly, thank you. So Shay, we're going to use rainbow, and I'm not sure what other color. I think I will get the rainbow on first and then see what speaks to me. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that stone like that under that piece of tape. And now we're going to brush in the top half of Tough. So here's the rainbow stones. I do not like this camera up here. It is not very bright, but there's pinks, golds, greens. Do you see any other colors beside pink, gold, and green? Let me know. I see a tiny little bit of blue here. So I see gold, green, pink, a little bit of blue, maybe a tiny bit of teal. Jess, if you're here watching, I said teal. Pink will always work, Shay. Yes. The new Icy Salmon, that is the one color that I bought when I was down at Applique giveaway. You guys, I was there on a major budget. I did not buy much, but I got one set of pink salmon stones. I don't know where they are, to be quite honest. I don't think I've put them in the bling vault yet. And yes, I said bling vault. It's what I call my little craft closet. Well, it's a big craft closet. It used to be my craft room. It is a closet off this room. It's a large closet. It's just a spare room over the garage, which this room is over the garage too, but it was a spare, like a mechanical room over the garage, or not so much mechanical things, but all of our internet stuff, all of our wires are pulled into there. That's where our box is. It has angled walls, so there's not a lot of usable space in there. That used to be where I did my videos. Now it's my bling ball. How have you not seen this on her store? Well, Bobby, wait till you see it from different angles. And the angle I'm looking at it, mainly I see green and gold. I think the pink's on that upper side. But rose, I think, would be a good color to use with this. I think. Okay. Now this is going to be hard to tell if there's something missing because of the ombre. So it looks like there's a lot of things missing, but I think until we put the colors together, we won't know for sure. But if anybody sees anything jumping out, let me know. So like, for example, I don't think that's just flock that didn't come out. I think that's going to be the other color. So let me pick those up. I'm going to use the same piece of transfer tape that I used. Now I see the pink. Oh my goodness. So from up here, I see pink and gold mainly. Tiny bit of orange. But when I'm sitting down from over here, I see blue and green. So that's what you're going to see. Bobby, when I hold this up and I turn it, you're going to see all those different colors. Oh, I think I see an extra stone. Yep. Hold on. Right in there somewhere. And I'm going to have to lay it back down to get those in the right place. So if you bump some stones, you can lay them back down and find exactly where they're meant to be. All right. Okay, let's set you up here. Do not fall, because if you fall, you'll go on the ground. If you go on the ground, you're going to get fuzz all over yourself. Then I'm going to have to redo you. Okay, you guys get out of the way. Get out of the way. Hey, Monique. Bobby, I understand. Okay, so I'm going to take my time to get this laid down into place. I used to be, like when I was on lives, I'd be all nervous that I had to do things quickly. And now I just want to do them right. Or as right as I can. You can stretch your shirt if you need to. You can cut letters apart if you need to. I have cut letters apart multiple times. I think I need to stretch that T up a little bit. Okay. That looks good. Oh, I think I'm missing another. I think I'm missing another stone, and it probably did not come out of the flock. It's on the T right there. Yep. So I was missing a stone right here, which it was hard to tell because those come together there. So it'll be another hand placed stone for me. It's another Labrador one. Beautiful. All right, let me hold this up so you can see what we have so far. I do have a regular fill for it also, Shay Shay. I am just moving things all around. Okay, so here's what we have. If we turn it, let me move this camera. If we turn it, you see certain colors. And for some reason, the pink is not jumping out to me. Is the pink coming out to you guys? Can you see the pink? Uh-oh. This just came out. Okay, let me just bend this back for a minute. You can see the pink? Okay. Cute. There's the pink. All right. Hey, Linda Gray. Okay, so we still have a Labrador stone missing. So let's do the same thing we did last time. Let's go ahead and get it put in place. So I don't forget. It goes, whoops. It goes right here. And then I'll get a piece of tape out, tape that down. That last piece of tape that I put on there is probably stuck to the back side of my other tape. So I'm just going to cut out another little triangle and put it on. Crystal Volcano would both color shift like that. Yes. Plus, like what? Blue flame and green flame? Are those considered color shifting, Eve? Oh my goodness. Come on, Marilyn. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Shay Shay. I am having a difficult time getting this apart. There we go. All right, so we're just going to put that down right there. Hold it in place. Ooh. Clean up our mess. Then I got to think about what color I want to use. I feel like rose. Light rose is really, really, really light pink. I'm wondering how that would look. I'm going to grab a few colors. I'm kind of right there with Shay Shay. I love my pinks and magentas. I don't think magenta would look good with this. I think it needs to be a color that is similar to one of the colors that you see in this. Okay, so let me grab a couple, and then I'll figure it out when I get back with them. Now, if you like green, you could use peridot. If you like yellows, you could use, let's see, what yellow would look good with that? Kind of a golden yellow. What's kind of a golden yellow? Not citrine. I don't know about citrine. Hey, Stacy. Okay, somebody's saying no, no, no. I don't think magenta would look good with it. I don't. That's just, I don't. Let me look at it. Maybe I do. You guys don't? No. I don't think so. I really don't. Now, would light rose be too light? Yeah, I don't like that. We're going with rose. And if you don't like it, just pretend like you do. Neon pink, I do have neon bubblegum. Let's see. Her name is the other Stacy. Stacy 1, Stacy 2, Stacy H, Stacy C. I think rose. Okay. Well, let's do rose. Hopefully I don't have any. Oh, wait a minute. I see one. Oh, I have a flock dot on my fingernail. I see one. We'll see if there's any gaps when we get done. If there's a gap when we get done, I'll be able to figure out where it came from. Guys that are still with me, thank you so much for hanging on. I know this is a long live. Been on here a little over 2 hours, and I think that becomes a long live. Evelyn, just pretend. Just pretend like you do. Or just, you know, don't say anything. Hey, so I did this video, the one with, I'm getting flock dots mixed in with this. The video of my wifey shirt. I made the wifey shirt late last night. Like I said earlier, I did screen record me making the design, but I didn't have my microphone in. And then I was like, I don't want to voice over. I hate voicing over. So I redid the Embrilliance part today. But in the video, I get a little bit on my soapbox while it's stitching out. I stop the machine, and I get a little bit on a soapbox about getting your fingers near the needle. I don't usually get on a soapbox, but it just came to me because in the groups I'm in, I have heard some horror stories about people and people stitching their fingers. And so when I was making this video, I was like, holy cow, what if I stitched my finger down and I couldn't get my finger out and I couldn't lift the needle? I don't have my phone with me. I would just have to stand there till Tim got home. And what about people that live by themselves? What would they do? So forgive me for my little rant if you watch the video. And I hope you'll watch the video. So use a chopstick, use anything. You can put things close to the needle, just not your fingers. Oh, thanks, Kelly. Bobby, I know watching people bling is really relaxing. Now, remember at the beginning I had those flock dots on my table and they left some sticky stuff? They are sticking my stones to my table. And my transfer tape's big, so I can get around it though. I'll just put them low on the transfer tape. Yes, Patrice, I got on my soapbox. One lady stitched the needle through her finger, removed it from the... Oh, well, that's a good idea as long as you have your screwdriver there to get it out, and had to go to the emergency room to have it removed. If nothing was around, I'm not sure what I would do, but I would figure it out. Rip your finger off out of panic. But Bobby, you would just not put your fingers near it, right? All right, let's pick up the extra stones. I'm sure I would figure out something, but I just have this terrible image of somebody getting their finger stuck in there and then not having the tools they need within reach to be able to get loose. Yeah, if it's a single needle, I could pick up that machine and carry it with me to the emergency room. I don't get as nervous about that issue with it. Yeah, I have my tools on one of the shelves of the multi-machine, so I think I'd be okay, but I sure would want my phone near me. And at the time, my phone wasn't near me. Okay. I'm trying to think if I was using my phone to record. I think I was using the iPad. Okay, so we have this piece up here. Now we're going to lay this down. And I'm going to cut this down because if I set it down on that other piece of tape that's holding down my Labrador, and then I lift it up, it could move that Labrador stone. And I'm pretty close to being done with this tape anyway. So I think it's just better that I do that. Yes, this is a good color for mixing with rainbow. It's a really good color to mix with rainbow. if you like pink. If you don't like pink, it's not going to be a good color for you to use at all. I think I have my tongue sticking out. Okay. Now, I see a stone down there. I don't like where it is, but it's one of the rainbow ones, so I'm stuck with it. It's over in the wrong place. I do have a little wand that I can use to heat that and take it off and put one in the right place, but we're not going to do that during live. Thanks. A lot of friends who are customers want this shirt. Awesome. All right, well, I'll move the table here in just a minute. Oh my gosh, that is really, really, really pretty. There are many times when I'm like, oh, not really satisfied with the colors I put together. Let's just move this guy over there. But in this case, I think this looks great. I cannot hold anything straight these days. Here, let me remove this camera. There we go. That's going to help. My camera's not straight. You guys, this design really is straight. I'm having issues with my camera. My ability to hold a shirt and my camera. Okay, so we turn it. The fact that it's ombre comes out a little bit more. And then when we have it straight on, at some point it just looks pink. Like I think that O and U just look pink right now. But then you see it's ombre again. Or if you can see from the top, there you go. That the top, I see more green now. Or if I pull out the bottom, I like it. It's kind of subtle. Let me look at it. Yeah, it's kind of subtle, but I do like it. So the colors, I saw somebody ask, what are the colors again? Thank you. The colors, all of the outlines on this are Labrador. The top half of the word tough is rainbow. I'm glad you couldn't see my face because I was like, what color was it? Top of tough is rainbow, and the bottom of tough is rose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I will add this to my Etsy shop tonight. It will have two versions. Both are the same size. Both of them have the exact same outline. But in one of them, tough is just one color. In the other one, tough is ombre. So it's two colors. So here's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to write this down because I got a few things I said I would do. First of all, let's pick up these scissors that somehow got on the floor. We're going to add the template. I'm going to repost the Zoom invitation for the members. I'm going to repost the gratitude attitude, the Zoom post, and the gratitude attitude will come down on Saturday. So if you're a member, grab them because they are going to come down. And I keep the freebies up for sometimes more than a month, but I try to change out the freebies so that whenever you're a member, you get the freebie for that time period. And then next month I'm going to put in, and next month starts tomorrow, so I'll do it here within the next week. I will put in the design that we made tonight. I'm not sure if I'll put in the version we made tonight or the version that I made before tonight. I'll see which one I think looks better and I'll put that one in. Okay. Okay. Yes, the gratitude attitude that I posted is in rhinestone form. And if you don't do rhinestones, you can do faux rhinestones, which is like sparkle vinyl. I don't know if mine's over there. Let me see. Nope, but I have some in the other room. Let me grab it so you can see what I'm talking about. So these are the types of things that I feel make really beautiful faux rhinestones. And that's the holographic sparkle type things. When you cut these out using a rhinestone template and you heat these onto something, they look beautiful. It's like the gateway drug to rhinestones. So that's one. Then this sheet is also a holographic sparkle type vinyl. And see how it has chunks. Sorry about that ring light. This is a pink and purple. So these are the types of things that will make really pretty faux rhinestone designs. Now, not all templates are going to look good as a faux rhinestone design because, whew, my hair, my face, because some templates are made where the outline is hugging the inside. And like when you see the template that you're cutting out, those holes are even maybe touching, but they're 2 layers, so it's okay if they touch. But if you cut that type of design out and try to do faux rhinestones, it's just not going to look right. So you do kind of have to figure out what would look right. Now, I think that gratitude attitude would be a great faux rhinestone design. Let me look at the one we did tonight. Would it be? I think it would be fine. But anyway, that's the first thing that I did was faux rhinestones, and they were very pretty. Now, if you're coming into the Zoom, you don't even have to do faux rhinestones. You don't have to do rhinestones. You do whatever you want. I just want people to come in and have some fun fellowship. So that's 2 this Saturday Central Time. Thank you, Shay Shay. I made it last night. It is a applique design, but I didn't use fabric. And then I have something I'm going to put on the sleeve, says EST for established 1993, which was the year we were married. So, all right. Thank you guys for being here with me tonight. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a nice time. We were able to talk with other people. Hopefully you learned a little something, but if not, hopefully you just enjoyed yourself. And so I'll post those 3 things a little bit later tonight. And hopefully I will see you guys Saturday. Hold on. You're welcome, Faye. Oh, Meredith, thank you. Thank you, thank you. 32 short ears. All right. I can actually talk now. So I'll see you guys. Hopefully I'll see you on Saturday. If the trees comes on for a little bit tomorrow night, maybe tomorrow night, but I'll see you soon. All right. Bye.